Radio Free Cybertron.
Transformers.
Rewind.
This week on Transformers Rewind, Brian Kilby is wrong about a better Mousetrap.
Target locked. Preparing to terminate.
Come on!
Black Arachnia, Pterosaur, and Waspinator are digging a hole in order to plant a device so they have something to do this week. Meanwhile, inside the Axelon, Rhinox is demonstrating the Sentinel defense system he's been working on. Optimus is impressed, but has to leave suddenly when the sensors detect a Predacon nearby.
Tangler guns target intruders with plastine coils. That gives the stun guns and cyclotron fields time to set up for the knockout punch.
Beast-o butt, old Sentinel here takes him down.
You said, make the base impregnable.
Well done.
Dinobot doesn't think the defense system will work in practice, so Rattrap uses one of the Tangler guns on him for proof of concept. It's all fun and games until Dinobot breaks free and stabs the control panel.
Tanglers, stun guns. What sort of defense grid is this?
What's gumming your gears?
Those toys won't stop Predacons in battle mode. Lethal threats demand lethal response.
Oh, yeah? Well, respond to this, chopper face.
Sentinel is now active, and because no identification protocol is installed, it thinks the Maximals are hostile invaders. Rhinox orders an evacuation, but Rattrap ducks into a vent and is determined to shut this down himself since it's kind of his fault.
Tangler's worked pretty good on old Dino butt. Maybe Pred's aren't as lethal as they think. Incoming!
Warning. Intruder alert. Sentinel online. Acquiring targets.
Show's over, Rhinox. Shut it down.
How? The console's junk thanks to you and Dinobot.
Optimus meets with Tigatron, who's watching Waspinator spaz around in the air. Optimus decides to go after Waspinator to see where he'll run, while Tigatron follows on the ground. But they both lose Waspinator as he flies at part of the cliff face.
Did you see him?
No, but I can still smell him. He's here somewhere.
Maximal alert. Intruders have infiltrated base. Sentinel now at level 1.
Sentinel?
Who is Sentinel?
Our new defense grid, but it shouldn't be online yet.
It might be wise for you to return. I'll hunt down Waspinator.
Yes, something's going on in this sector, and I want to know what it is. I'll send backup as soon as I can.
I need no help hunting Predacons, and I prefer to prowl alone.
The confusion is interrupted by an automated message from Sentinel, and Optimus decides to go back to see what's up while Tigatron hunts down Waspinator. Rattrap is stuck inside the base, but is having little difficulty defeating every measure Sentinel takes against him, even as the program advances itself to handle the increasing threat.
Zero friction fluid. Come on, Rhinox. That stuff is strictly for amateurs. This ain't a security grid. It's a gym, just for spy guys like me.
Tigatron discovers a cave concealed by a hologram and finds a Predacon deep inside. Back at the Axelon, the Maximals are trying to blast through Sentinel's shield, but it's not working very well.
The trail leads here. But something's not right. A hollow projector. Clever.
Waspinator says we must deal with Optimus first.
Tigatron maximize stealth mode.
Optimus will never find us here.
And even if he does, he'll be too late. The emitter is ready. In 15 cycles, we'll be inside the maximal base.
The only place you three are going is the Slab Heap.
He's stolen my invention!
Tigatron attacks the Predacons and grabs the sonic emitter. Black Arachnia warns him it's about to explode, so Tigatron decides to return it. The Predacons retreat, and a big hole opens up near the Axelon, and Tigatron climbs out.
Where did he go?
Right here, Predacon.
You can't win, Cat! The emitter will explode and take you with it!
In that case, allow me to return it.
No!
Let's get out of here!
Inside, Rat Trap has made it to the computer core, but gets pinned down just out of reach of the shutoff switch as Sentinel prepares to terminate him. The shield suddenly shuts down, and the Maximals realize Rat Trap has been destroyed. They say a few final words about their fallen comrade.
Rat Trap gone? No way. No, I don't believe it.
He was a difficult Maximal to deal with. At times impossible. But I'll remember him with honor.
I won't disgrace his memory with lies. He was a stinking, omnivorous pestilence. Still, in some perverse way, I will miss him.
And we fade to black.
Sure, he smelled bad. He was a rat. But he was my best friend.
Or not.
Oh, boo! Boo-hoo! Oh, don't stop now! You motorheads are killing me.
Rat Trap?
How did you...
Avoid getting scrapped? Well, it was no oil bath, but let's face it. Ain't a defense system made that I can't get around. Right, Sentinel?
Acknowledged.
You just gotta know how to talk to him.
So, Brian, why don't you tell us why you're wrong about this episode?
I don't hate this episode, and the stuff toward the end I do kind of dig. I love Rat Trap, but you know it's season 1 episode, so I never really paid that much attention.
It's a middle season 1 episode, so it's good.
I'm not saying that, I'm not using season 1 as a euphemism to say it's bad. I'm just saying it's like one of those episodes that I watched once and never watched again until this last week.
You suck.
I know.
I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but
it's true.
Yeah.
Well, each time we talk about a Beast Wars season 1 episode, I think you're gonna have to say it again.
I just won't be
Apparently
here.
So.
You'll have to get JD back on for that one.
Well, he would probably at least appreciate them. I'm starting to think JD has a lot better taste than you, Brian. But yeah, I like this. It's not just a focus on Rat Trap, but it's a focus on all of Rat Trap's various skills from the past he's been, vaguely suggested at having before the series started.
Yeah.
He was a soldier, a spy, a demolitionist,
and a
sharpshooter. A sharpshooter. Well, I mean, that can go along with the soldier part, too. But, I mean, we finally get to see a lot of this put into practice all at once, as he's, completely circumventing the supposedly impenetrable security system Rhinox developed. Although, apparently, that doesn't even work that well, either.
Yeah. I love the interaction between Dinobot and Rat Trap. I think that's always great.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all. It's just well done.
Problem?
Oh, that's one of the dangers a series like this has. Of course, is the comic relief character turning out to be totally and completely useless, and this is a good episode for that not to happen, and unless you're counting Waspinator, of course, but
he serves another purpose.
Yeah, but Rat Trap has up to this point been pretty much the maximal pain in the ass, and like you said, this is where you actually get a chance to see why he's here, which is
because
again it's one of those little things about Beast Wars where actual writers are involved, and you get actual personalities and skill sets and purposes for all the characters in the show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Like, Pterosaur's purpose is Starscream.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
just as a general example, it doesn't really have much to do with this episode since he's not in it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, though, where it does take a little bit of time for it to get up to speed.
But see, I mean, that's kind of the problem with the Predacon plot in this episode. It's obviously just there so that, okay, the Predacons are involved. And they're done now.
One thing I like about Beast Wars, Rob mentioned like Pterosaur, all the characters, if they decide that they don't want to, focus on this character anymore, instead of them going, off camera and never coming back, they just get killed, and they weren't afraid of doing that. And I mean, that's fantastic. And I love that Beast Wars is able to take a risk. Now, I did not expect Rat Trap to die. But if this had been like a season 2 episode or a season 3 episode, all bets are off.
Yeah, I mean, you could totally see that really happening.
Yeah, all bets would be off at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it's a fake out because they iris out at the end, which they
never do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I mean, it was just cool to see, Rat Trap, like Rob was saying, he was the annoying guy, but it was cool to see him just sort of be annoying, but at the same time just being a total badass and being able to, like, you never saw what he did before, and you're just like, wow, this guy is really awesome.
Yeah, there's only been hints at what Rat Trap actually did before the show started, and it's been stuff along this line, but it's like, okay, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk a little bit about the security measures in Sentinel that we never see again, of course. Like the energy field that freezes everything it touches. You gotta think that would be handy at some point later on.
Why wouldn't they take that out of Sentinel and put that in a gun?
Or like a refrigerator.
Yes, that too.
But I think one of the things that always ran, always with Sentinel was that that ship was a terrible shot.
Well, okay, and that really opens up the point of this too, which is that after this point, Sentinel is basically only used to aim the guns outside the ship. Anytime somebody gets inside, they make up an excuse for why they can't use Sentinel to deal with it.
Yeah.
Either there's nobody active on the bridge to activate it, or they don't have power to do it. You know, there's always some excuse why the internal defenses are always shut off, even though there's a lot of times, like in Possession, which is another one I want to do pretty soon, they really should have those defenses running. And of course, in the Low Road, which we talked about before, it also shows that some of the Sentinel stuff can't be activated while there's friendlies around either. It's just, they go to a lot to set up what Sentinel is in this episode, and then basically it all goes away after this. It's a shield and it's guns on the outside. That's about it.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
It's kind of a
Another
waste.
thing Another thing I did like about this episode is that at the end, when they're all standing around talking about the presumably dead Rat Trap, Dinobot's attitude towards death is consistent. It's like, tell the truth, even if it hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. His consistency was meh.
Well, yeah, I mean, for Dinobot, it's more like, okay, being honest about what this person was and did in his life is more respectful to the person than trying to think of nice things to say, to the exception of all else.
Yes.
Which, I mean,
yeah,
it is showing in its own way that Dinobot has respect for Rat Trap,
Yes.
even if he can't really stand him.
yeah.
And like Rob was saying before, it's one of those things of good writing that you can get that subtext in there like that, where it comes across subtly and naturally.
But not by Dinobot not cheapening Rat Trap's memory, the writers get by like enhancing his character or not cheapening his character, which they could easily have, that something like that could like totally have thrown a wrench in what they were building with Dinobot.
Or just omitting the part where he says, I won't dishonor his memory with false sentiment or whatever. If they had left that line of dialogue out and Dinobot had just said he was, he smelled bad and I hated him, that would have gone in a completely different direction too. It's that combination of those elements that really makes that. And that's the good writing.
Yeah.